Alright guys, here's lesson 83, which is again about the order of operations. And way back in lesson 5, we started learning about this, and we learned that we do what is in parentheses, or in the same sense, what is separated by a division bar first. Otherwise, once we've done all that parentheses and division bar stuff, we do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division starting from the left and moving to the right. Now they only gave you problems that had a combination of addition and subtraction or multiplication and division, but they didn't mix addition and multiplication. So there's some new rules we're going to learn for that today. But first let's do some review problems that are like the ones we saw way back in lesson 5. So problem A on your paper says 2 plus 6 minus 5. So we start with the 2, and we just start out and add the 6 to the 2, and that's going to give us 8. And then the next thing to do is take away the 5, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So we're done with A. Then on B, we've got the same exact problem, except for we have a parentheses around the 6 minus 5. So that tells us to do that part first, and 6 minus 5 is 1. So once I figure out the answer to what's in parentheses, then I put on the rest of the equation, and I get 2 plus 1 is 3. So in this case, it came out to be 3 for A and B, and the parentheses didn't make a difference. But let's look at C and D on your papers. For C, I have 10 minus 3 minus 1 plus 5. There's no parentheses to deal with, so I start from the left, and I do 10 minus 3. Well, that's 7. Then the next thing it says to do is take that minus 1, and that'll give me 6. And the next thing to do is to add on that 5, and I'll get 11. So looking at D, I have to deal with these parentheses. So that says, first take that 10 minus 3, and let's figure out what that answer is. Well, that's 7. Now figure out what that 1 plus 5 is. Well, 1 plus 5 is 6. Now I bring down this little subtraction dude, and I get 7 minus 5, which is 2. So I had the same order. I had 10 minus 3 minus 1 plus 5. 10 minus 3 minus 1 plus 5, but these parentheses forced me to do things in a different order. So that in this side you can see I was subtracting a 1 and then adding on a 5. But on this side I'm subtracting a 1 plus 5, which is a 6. So it's a very different situation for what you're subtracting. So let's look at E. For E, we have 10 minus, and then in parentheses, we have that 3 minus 1, which is 2. So now I have 10 minus 2 plus 5. I work from left to right, and I get 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. On F side, I do what's in parentheses first, which is that 3 minus 1, which is 2, plus 5. So inside my parentheses I have a 7, and I have 10 minus 7, which is equal to 3. So here I got 13, here I got 3. And the only difference was where the parentheses were. Alright, so that was way back lesson 5. Now let's look at this lesson, which is lesson 83.